Hello everyone, I'm Major Jip, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at this Chi-Me LCD panel that has obviously seen better days. What I want to do is tear it apart and see how many layers it has and just what the layers look like. Because I've taken apart some smaller LCD panels, but never a 42-inch one. I'm kind of curious what it has in it. This is a fluorescent-based LCD panel instead of an LED. You can tell because on the back there's a bunch of connectors where each individual tube would be. And as you can see, it has a great big crack right down the corner of the screen. Which I used to joke around with my friends and call the Wiimote syndrome, because soon after the Wii was released, you'd see all kinds of LCD panels, the big plasmas and everything with cracks in the middle of the screen. Might be unrelated, but I still found it funny. But anyway, first thing we're going to have to do is get rid of all these screws around here. There's screws on the side. So, let's flip it over and I'll take some screws off camera. You know, I don't know why, but no matter what you take something apart, there's always going to be one screw that's going to give you a hassle. But luckily, I know how to take care of that. I mean, I need a smaller bit. Anyway, do that off camera. Yeah, I thought I'd point out before putting it back on the radio to take it down apart more. This is the connectors. You can see each and every one lines up to a tube that will run inside. So this is fluorescent. Something that I find interesting, the screws that are on the outside of the panel holding the sides on are actually the exact same size as hard drive screws. Go figure. Alright, so I have pretty much all of the screws off, and these metal brackets are already starting to come off. Get them out of the way. At the back over here, you can see all the flat flex connectors that connect into the driver board in the back of this that handles all the LCD displaying. And this panel should just lift right out. And you can see at the back how torn up it is. And that's got a bunch of broken glass on it. So, also the board that it's attached to is still screwed in place. You know what? I'm just gonna rip it off. Still like flat flex. Uh-oh. That proved to not be the best of ideas. Alright, I'm gonna unscrew it and actually do it properly. Alright, it didn't exactly get it apart nicely, but, only just gonna pull this apart for the sake of pulling it apart. Now we have these plastic outer parts that are clipped on. Like that. Let me actually put it down there. Let it get focused. And we have the one on the other side. And this is all where all the driving was connected to. That's the other part. And with that off, we get down to the first layer of the screen. Well, second, technically, because the first was the actual LCD. And it's just a shiny on one side, still on the other. And this is just helping to direct the light more evenly. After that, we have a second layer of what looks to be the same stuff. Yeah. And underneath that, we have another layer that's more shiny. Ooh. Yeah, this LCD took a bit of a beating. Because there we have the main, main plastic piece that actually has these little fine etchings in it that direct the light perfectly to light up the panel completely. This would be useful for a yeah, you can hear the texturing of that. And then we get down to the part that I was interested in, the tiny little tubes. Let's get a closer look at that. Interesting, the bulbs actually look burned on this side. You see around there. So they got pretty hot while this thing was working. This TV was from like 2009. So I guess it got a lot of use in the time that they had it. And I wouldn't recommend taking one of these panels apart anyway, because these are all fluorescent tubes, which means they contain mercury and tiny shards of glass if they break. Not very good. You don't want to get that in your hand. But I mean, it's interesting to look at, and people will actually convert these televisions into video lights. And I can see why. It put out quite a bit of light with just this, and what those sheets were earlier, they were diffusion layers. I couldn't think of the word. So, yes, let's get a really close look at these tubes on either end. Alright, so this is the right side where all the tubes are. And this side doesn't look as burned, but as you can see, they're just little fluorescent bulbs, pretty much. Then they have the wires running underneath this layer here, and they have the connectors. So then you look at this side, and yeah, that doesn't look too good. But this panel did actually light up, no problem. It was the fact that the layer was broken that caused the issue. So, I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, you can see the banding on the video from the fluorescents I have above me. I wonder if I could just hook this up to light these. I don't know what voltage they would take. I have the inverter board. I'm gonna see if I can get this. Maybe I shouldn't mess around with it. I'll be back. Alright, I have it all connected up, but I don't know if it's going to turn on, because I can't provide a data connection anymore, and I think it probably looks for that before turning on the panel. But, anyway, I have my little power on-off switch, and I have the plug. Alright, it's plugged in. Let's push the power button. Nothing yet. Oh. And that goes off. As you can see, one line of bulbs isn't working anymore because the connector got broken off. Can I get it to turn on again? Is it just going to loop? Of course, I have no idea what the television is doing anymore because there's no status. Yeah, wow, but they have an odd bluish tint to them. I find pretty interesting. turn off the lights and let it do it one more time. I like that. Too bad I can't get them running all the time. I don't know what voltage you actually need to put into the driver board, but I believe it's 24 volts. And then all of the step-up transformers step it up to the voltages that fluorescents need. Well, anyway, that's what's inside one of these little panels. Or bigger panels. Nice little LCDs. I don't know why I keep saying little LCDs. It's 42 inches. Decent amount. Anyway, if you were curious, like I was, that's what's inside of them. Thanks for watching. Major Jip, signing out.